14 new recipients of permanent residency permits will receive the good news this week after a few anxious months of anticipation. According to the new Chief of Police, Mark Chenery, he is pleased with the results. Originally, 22 applications were received by the department, and the majority of those were approved by Cabinet. However, recipients have not been advised until all logistics are completed. 8 applications have been deferred, and Chief Chenery says they will be working on those. Matavai Resort farewelled friends and families on Saturday evening with some emotional goodbyes as a New Zealand trust set up by government prepares to take over the only hotel resort on the island.
The families of the private shareholders really run the business, and I commend them for their success in providing this opportunity for a lot of people in this country, not only in employment but also in providing services to the people of this country. This evening is basically for the families who are the private shareholders of the company to flick back, because the future will be with the government. But nevertheless, I expect the private sector to continue with the participation in the running and management of the resort in the future expansion that we're looking at. And I also look forward to sometime in future when shareholding in the company that will be running this place will also involve private sector.
You are here because we wanted to thank you for your loyal support since Matavai was opened. From the business houses to the fishermen, from the vegetable growers to the unga hunters, from tradesmen to craft makers, from entertainers to the waste removers, from skilled artists with a paintbrush and canvas to the skilled artists with carving tools and wood. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. For those who offered constructive criticism, I thank you. I thank also those who had nothing but destructive criticism, for you spurred us on to show you just how wrong you were. At first, the vision was a little blurry, but as we continued to work together with our families to clear the site, to break the rocks, the vision finally emerged. We had a vision, we were committed, and what emerged was the Matavai. To the new owners, I wish you well. I end with one more thank you to make. To Russell's wife, Amma, and to my wife, Lisa. You stuck by us in this project through thick and thin. You shared our triumphs and you shared our disappointments. Your contribution added to the successful completion of the Matavai. This was not exactly the way we wanted our involvement to end. We wanted to pass this little legacy to our children, but it was not meant to be. Thank you for accepting our invitation. God bless you all.
Where Matavai is now was family land and was the perfect spot on the map. Could not see the view for the heavy bush. That turned out to be $1 million view 2 years later. So that was how I came involved as a partner with Hima and Pat. What a wonderful family I partnered up with, as partnerships can be very difficult sometimes. Hima the talking chief and Russell the tradie. While it took us 2 years with families of sweat, blisters, and area available time to clear the site, everybody thought we were nuts. We were mad, nuts, a tropo. What were we doing on such a difficult piece of land? Thank you to the Douglas family, including Bianca, and my family, Chris, Des, Marcus, Daniel, Helen, and Dr. Sipali, for all the help, refreshments, and most of all, faith. And these 2 guys with all sorts of what seemed to be impossible ideas, such as the Nuki pool. We spent many hours digging and burning that out by hand in solid coral, and at this stage, no real plans or money. People kept coming and looking and said we were dreamers and could not envisage what we were going to build. Once the site was cleared and the building foundations were in place, a view of the sea, the red survey flags came out between Tamotonga and Avasele. Landowners suddenly realized their land along the stretch could be of good value in the future. Recently, New Zealand and UA government brought in valuers. They must have come from a third world country. Matavai Resort valued at $600,000 What do they think we are? Bloody idiots? I lived and worked on Niue for 39 years and know the cost of things here. Just to clear the site and get water and power would exceed that amount with no architect fees. The architect and valuers have cost the New Zealand government $270,000 so far, half the value of Matawai Resort. What about the view? It is better than any other resort in the Pacific. I have been to most Pacific islands, and where you can see whales and calves during season purposes every day from the deck and bedrooms. That's worth $1 million to start with. If Matawai had been built by overseas contractors, the cost would have been well over $5 million. I know there is depreciation and maintenance, but I certainly don't accept your value. Hima and Pat for carrying on the good work. Hima, you are a great partner, and we will never forget you. We will be back soon. To the new owners and new management, we wish you all the best, and I'm sure that Matawai can be a real success. Never slept there as a guest, so hope there is a discount going sometime. Thank you again for all those who helped build Matawai. I am looking forward to returning soon and enjoying a few beers at the bar with so many lovely people. Kia monuina, Russell and Amelia Kaz.
Matawai Resort was said to have been bought out by the Niue government yesterday, but only for 24 hours as announced by New Zealand. However, reports from Whalefono is that the deal will not be as predicted or announced by New Zealand, as it will conclude until Friday. Previous talks with the New Zealand High Commission Office suggested that a multi-million-dollar deal will seal the development for the next 5 years before the resort is to be returned to the care of the Niue government. Other developments by New Zealand is seeing the old Rex building begin renovations for a new tourist centre. And we will bring you an update on these developments in our future news bulletins. Today marked the realization of a dream as Breakthrough Financial Solutions Niue officially opened its doors for business. The New Zealand-based finance firm is also a success story of the Return to Roots mission in 2009, where New Zealand-based businesses made the trip to Niue to identify areas in business that they could invest in and build collaborative relationships with Niue-based businesses. It was then that businessman Alex Talopa'u found that there was a lack of financial services on the island, which is something that the island needed, and it was exactly what his firm offered. Plans were then put in motion to make it a reality, and the excitement of the opportunities that lie ahead were apparent when speaking with the Managing Director of the New Zealand office today.
I looked around at the time and saw that there was no accounting firm on the island. And this is exactly what we do in New Zealand. So it gave me the thought of why is that happening to Niue? Why isn't there any accounting firm there? So that was the whole thing about bringing the services here. And nowadays with technology and everything that we can tap into, we are able to do business pretty much anywhere in the world, especially with the kind of software that's all internet-based now. And so we are able to do business in New Zealand, Niue, even though we're not here. Ben Tānaki is our managing director here, and so we're going to be working collaboratively and collectively as if we're all working from here. And I had the privilege of working from our office here last week, and I was able to do all my work in New Zealand at the time. So it just gave us the confidence that all is possible and we can do this.
How does it feel to actually be, well, there were more than 10 businesses that came to the island, and I guess this would be the first success story from that mission. How does it feel to be the first to, I guess, break through in Niue?
It's exciting. I think for us, we are really happy to be one of the very first fruits from that mission as well. And for us to be able to come back and bring to Niue some of the experience and expertise that we now have in New Zealand and operating in New Zealand. So it's basically bringing the professionalism and the way we do business there to Niue. And the feeling of being one of the very first fruits of the RTR mission, and actually seeing the opening today just makes it more real for us, and more reasons to be excited about the whole opportunity ahead.
Breakthrough Niue will be managed by Ben Tānaki, who will work closely with a team of experts providing solutions to financial matters.
We're all about financial solutions, and that can range from providing accounting services, your bookkeeping, preparing tax returns, business plans for businesses who are needing finance with the banks here or overseas, doing cash flow forecasts, and consulting with people who are actually wanting to get into business as well. One of the things that we want to do as well and achieve through Breakthrough Niue Financial Solutions is to start having an attachment with the young and upcoming accountants that we haven't identified yet on the island of Niue, and we want to have them attached to our program in New Zealand so that when they come or when they're here actually, and they can have some time to actually come and do some part-time work here and just start getting into that practical side of what we do as well. So the attachment for those who really are going to New Zealand and are doing an accounting degree or major as well, we would like to have that, see that come to fruition as well. So we've got a big vision as well, and one of our vision as well with the business as well is to actually create employment and probably create more wealth that we haven't seen at the moment, and to make the businesses who are operating in Niue more successful than they are. We are bringing a difference here, and that's the exciting part as well about our services. But anything to do with finances, anything to do with educating people on financing as well, and to make their businesses a better one as well, that's what we are about.
And this is also a major breakthrough for the island and its vision for development. Breakthrough Financial Solutions is located at Colin in between Falalafa and Sassy Sissy. The Niue Chamber of Commerce is set to employ a business advisor, a similar concept to that role of the Tourism Development Advisor. The Niue Chamber of Commerce will employ the business advisor, but paid by NZ Aid, and the report is from the New Zealand camp. Over 100 applicants vied for the job in New Zealand. President for the Niue Chamber of Commerce, Avi Rubin, says the Chamber's vision is to employ a much-needed advisor to assist develop businesses on the island, and it's important an independent person is employed. Avi said talks from the New Zealand that people are employed as friends or colleagues is something that needs to be dealt with in New Zealand. The person awaiting to confirm whether they are successful with the appointment was selected from a panel that included the Niue High Commissioner, Honourable Olaf Jacobson, and Avi. The confirmation of who will be employed will take place next week. Some critics overseas are probably not as kind with some New Zealand appointments, with snipes that more people are wanting the cushy jobs in Niue because of the high-paid posts, which are rumoured to be on 100,000 pay bracket. Some members of the public said it's disconcerting that substantial New Zealand aid money is used to employ its own people, with Wellington previously condemning the island for misused funds. However, the same scratch record is still playing. More than 40 years on, former students, colleagues and friends gathered to honour the late Mr. Charles Albert Kingston. Mr. Kingston was Niue High School's first principal, and those close to him came together last Saturday to unveil a plaque dedicated to him. In a short ceremony conducted by the Reverend Howard Jackson, those present took a moment to reflect on his life of service to education. At his gravesite on a small hill facing towards the school he helped develop, that would continue to mould the futures of many of Niue's generations. Also present at the special service was Mr. Kingston's widow, Whanaura, who made the journey back to fulfill a promise to return to the island they had served in and grown to love and call home. In a heartfelt speech, Mrs. Kingston was humbled by the kindness of the Niuean people and government, who graciously allowed for Mr. Kingston to be laid to rest within school grounds, despite laws that forbid such practices. Those who worked alongside Mr. and Mrs. Kingston, those who were taught by them, and those who befriended them spoke of fond memories of a man who was revered and respected by many in an era that helped shape the future of a nation. Colin Albert Kingston served as the principal of Niue High School from 1964 to 1969. And those are our news stories that we have for you this evening. We do hope that you'll be able to join us again for our next news bulletin on Thursday. And don't forget to check out the Niue Primary School Sports Day tomorrow.